And I basically took one of his chapters and rewrote it as an article, and it was about sending mail for free. And the way to send mail for free is like, Gio, let's say I want to send you a letter, right? I would just put no postage on the letter and then put the return address as your address and drop it in the mailbox. And then the post office is like, oh my God, there's no postage. We need to return to sender. The sender's Geo, so they automatically send it to the return address. And so those two things went viral. But that was my foray into content sites. But to sum up this rant is that like you can have these websites that are, I think anyone that can learn the basics, like basics of SEO, and just like basics of WordPress management, like you learn it on YouTube if you wanted, right? You could build or buy a website that with an hour, a couple hours of work a month could be maintained at least. I'm not going to say it's going to explode and flip it for massive amounts of money, but could at least be maintained, and you get like 25 to 40% cash on cash returns for sub 50K, which I just can't name another asset class where that's possible, right? And I have a site I bought as a case study for $400 that was making $8 a month, and it's now up to like 30 or $40 a month in the past 6 months, right? And it's also like the bane of my existence because I literally am like editing content about dog frisbees every day. But in general, like I wanted to show people that like this is doable. Like you got a side job and you got $500, cool, you can do this.
But I think when we kind of talk about all this stuff, we're talking about these $8 to $32 a day examples, and it's the easy stuff, it's the small stuff. But are you actively running larger content sites now? And I ask this, and like you don't even have to go reveal like what the sites are, because I know like Gio and I come from an Amazon FBA world where like people don't talk about what they sell at all because it's easy to be somewhat knocked off. But like general niches are always appreciated. Or like I'm curious what you own today.
So the biggest site sale I ever had, I sold in 2020. That was sort of like a big, and that was like more of a holdco that we sold. But like to be really candid with you, at the core of that holdco was like there was a bunch of websites and some blocks of stock and some other companies, and it was a really weird transaction with like a clawback provision and an earnout, like all these weird different things. But what I will say is that the core of that business was a large, it's all relative, but large financial news website. And that was about cannabis equities. It was about pot stocks. And so we were just like super early to that space. We came in like late 2015, early 2016 to start writing about pot stocks when there was like 12 of them up in Canada, and all ships rise in high tide. I mean, also we were just like a crack team of killers. Like, I don't want to even pretend that like we did a bad job. Like we crushed that. And, we ended up doing like a few million uniques a year, top line like 2 million a year in revenue on the highest year, so like, and by the way, people ask me how big the content sites can get. I don't know, go look at Red Ventures. They got like Nerd Wallets, the Points Guy, right? These are literally just affiliate sites, right? That are doing like 9 figures a year in revenue.